When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro.
Wow. Just wow. I don't even know how to start a video like this. Just when I thought that things couldn't get any more ridiculous and over the top, Sony comes along and defies all logic. I have to say, we live in some crazy times. I mean, just think of it, both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are now owned by Microsoft. Nintendo Switch is about to be the highest selling console of all time, running on hardware that's outperformed by your average phone. And if you thought that the leap from PS4 to PS5 was small, Sony goes ahead and makes a worse value proposition than owning a PlayStation 2 in 2024. We didn't need it, we didn't ask for it, but the PS5 Pro is here, and it wants our rent and our groceries. When you think of mid-gen refreshes, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For me, it's the DS Lite, PS2 Slim, and the Xbox One S. Usually something dramatically smaller in size while still remaining affordable. More recently, with the Nintendo Switch and the OLED screen is just so much better, and for not that much more money, there's no reason to even buy the original Switch. You can even justify upgrading to the OLED. That's what I did. It's that much of an improvement. Even the PS4 Pro was a noticeable improvement over the base model. Better graphics, smoother gameplay, shorter loading times. If you were no longer on the fence and you wanted to go out and buy a PS4, buying the PS4 Pro was a no-brainer. Until we made it to the PS5, and now it feels like there's no significant difference in graphics. At least if you're not squinting. The PS5 is just a slightly better PS4, at least in my opinion. Couple that with the fact that there hasn't been any new games really, and there isn't a reason to upgrade from the PS4. So apparently now we need a PS5 Pro when the PS5 already had a hard time justifying its existence? What's funny is that during this presentation, all the games shown off running on the PS5 Pro are already games we've played. I feel like it's a running gag at this point that the PS5 has no games. Even Sony's getting in on the fun by showing us how much better all of these games that we've already played are on the new Pro model. And I don't know about you, but all of these specs honestly put my ass to sleep. At least with the Nintendo, they're showing us different ways we can interact with our games. Also, this Mark Cerny guy, I don't even know who he is, don't ask me, because at this point I'm so out of the loop. These people aren't important to me. But my God, could you be any more creepier, my dude? Never have I, in all of my years on this planet, heard another human being speak like this. This is so dry and so boring. NPCs in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion have better scripting than this clown. You know that giant alien insect in the Men in Black that kills the farmer and wears his skin? That's literally this guy. That's about how much of a disconnect Sony has with its consumer base. If you want my opinion, fidelity and performance modes, I honestly don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the graphics. I don't give a shit about the performance. This shouldn't even be a discussion. Games should not run like shit. Okay? These performance modes should not even be an option because games should be running smoothly by default. The only time ultra-realistic graphics matter is in gameplay trailers when publishers want you to buy their games. It almost feels like they're saying, yeah, we couldn't sell you on this game being fun, so we just caked on as much makeup as possible in hopes that it impresses you. You know what's more impressive than graphics? Advanced physics and AI engines. Starfield might be the best looking Bethesda game, but it doesn't change the fact that all the NPCs are stiff and robotic. Tears of the Kingdom might look like an Xbox 360 game, but everything in that world reacts to you in a realistic way. Arkham Asylum is an Xbox 360 game, but the way the enemy AI reacts to you, slowly whittling down their numbers, makes you feel like you're actually the Batman putting the fear of God into Joker's goons. So yeah, it's no wonder that 75% of the time players would rather choose performance over graphics. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that people who are playing games for their graphics probably aren't playing on console. It's funny how fans were upset too to find out the best way to experience these games weren't on their console but on PC. So Sony's response to this is to sell us a $700 console that gives us slightly better background detail on all of our PS4 games. All that big 3 talk too with the GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI upscaling, it just sounds like snake oil. To the average consumer, like, they're not gonna get this, they're not privy to all this technical jargon. They just want the newest shiny thing, and this sounds like it's cutting edge. In all reality, the fact that this has no vertical stand or disk drive makes it a worse purchase than its base model, which I mentioned before, already kinda had a hard time justifying its existence. Yeah, I spent around the same amount of money on the Steam Deck, but it's a straight up PC. Like a decent one, and I don't even have to play games on it. I can use it as a straight up dedicated desktop. You know, I'm honestly starting to believe the comment section that Sony is just trying to make us pay for the development of Concord. $700? Like, really? That is absolutely wild. That's more than I was expecting the PlayStation 6 to be. And they wrap this presentation up by showing a bunch of games that we've already played again, as well as that ridiculous price point. For a second there, I actually thought it said pay has no limits. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go straight up retro and buy a PlayStation 2. For like $150, it comes with a vertical stand and a disc drive, as well as thousands of games that I can choose from. But that's about it, guys. This whole presentation from Sony was an absolute circus. I'd like to know your thoughts. To me, it feels like the Dreamcast all over again. Maybe it's time for Sony to exit the console market. Or maybe they can win us over with something like the successor to the PS Vita. Like I said, I'm probably gonna get a PS2. To hell with modern gaming. Other than the indie space, I just don't get excited for gaming as a whole anymore. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. This was crazy. Sony, you are completely out of touch. And bye.